Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 14th episode of GREYNOISE. My name is Master Chen.
This is Doxy.
This is Krux.
And Dave.
And you're listening to what I said already, GREYNOISE.
What is this? Episode 14, and you still haven't said it right.
All right, and what do you guys want to talk about today? I'll fix it later. Okay, so wait, we want to talk about Hughesby. You're actually back from Berlin. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Where did you go?
I went to Berlin, Germany, as if there were more Berlins. So I was in Germany for the TOR developer meetup, which was completely awesome. It was all last week, and I'm confident that the future of anonymity and anti-censorship on the internet will be secured for the foreseeable future.
So I know you can't go into a lot of detail, but it was a cool, super secret squirrel meeting.
Yeah. You know, it was it's not super secret.
I don't know. So it was like a convention, like a con.
Yeah, but of 80 people, right?
Right. Invite only.
No, it's not actually. It's open to anybody.
Why didn't I go? Oh, because I'm broke.
And the TOR Project does sponsor travel for people that, they deem worthy, I guess.
If you contribute
I really got to start developing.
You just didn't care enough about him to tell him.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chen.
Yeah, thanks. No, but how was it, though? So you're confident in the future of privacy?
Yeah, yes, really great. The only thing I can say is I encourage everybody to donate to the TOR Project. They're going to launch a crowdfunding campaign here soon. And I really, really hope that everybody can kick them a few bucks or euros or yen or rubles or whatever. They really need it. Everywhere we go, we always hear donate to the EFF. And actually, the EFF has plenty of money.
Now.
As far as I understand it. But the TOR Project really needs some help. And that would be how you can help. If you don't, even if you just care and can't write code or whatever, that would be great. While I was there, I did go see a cool gallery show that was put on by Jacob Applebaum. It was photographs of some dissidents that were amazing. He used film that was infrared film that's used in spy satellites, I guess is how it goes. And he was able to get some of this film, and he took pictures of Ai Weiwei and of Sarah Harrison and Glenn Greenwald and all these people in this this completely analog process using spy satellite photo film. Yeah, it was really great.
Sounds like a mixture of Mission Impossible, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., 007, and everything from the 60s.
Yeah, and the one thing I regret the most is he had a limited number of necklaces that had these glass vials that had shredded, but unredacted Snowden documents that they had printed out and then shredded, and so you could get these little as a pendant kind of thing, and they wanted 50 euros for them. I was like, but I wish I had gotten one now.
That is kind of cool, man.
Yeah, it was cool. I'm kicking myself for not getting one. So Jake, if you're listening,
well, I hope he's listening.
Mail me one.
Telling him to listen to the podcast.
Mail me one. I'll trade you.
So you were out there for a week or longer than a week, right?
Yeah, it was 7-8 days. I mean, it was Sunday through Saturday kind of thing.
And I mean, the whole time was for the development.
It starts off at the beginning of the week is what are we going to do with the TOR project for the next year? They do a lot of planning and stuff, and then the last 3 or 4 days is just let's all sit around and hack and fix bugs and game stuff out. Yeah, there was a lot of talk about active censorship. There's a lot of talk about scaling hidden services, all that kind of stuff. So,
that's cool.
Really nerdy, but awesome.
I think people who are listening will be enthusiastic, though, so that's good. We are live here at the SYNShop. It is Friday night. It is a little bit after 8 o'clock. We are on YouTube. We are recording, and I want to turn this into audio. I want to turn this audio live later, but I'll figure that out later. Now, before we go on to our next step, we are at the SYNShop. That is 1075 American Pacific Drive, Suite C in Henderson, Nevada. We're still in the Las Vegas area, but new location, almost triple the size. Krux, double the size. Okay. So we have room now for a lot more cool
drone fights.
Yeah, drone. Can we do drone fights in the back?
You could potentially do drone fights in the back. Yeah.
Drone races, maybe not fights, but races.
Okay, cool.
I mean, as long as you don't damage the other equipment.
Yeah.
Right. So anybody listening knows now, BGM and Fox are both out for the week, and so that's why we have Hughesby and Krux here. And Krux made a comment in the IRC channel a little bit earlier last week about how we suck at IPv6.
It was 2 weeks.
That was
well, not like a week. It was like a week and a half because it had to be before the other episode. Anyway, So we suck at IPv6. Can you tell us why?
So I'm a network engineer by trade. So while I was listening to the episode, I was just kind of twitching most of the time.
We're that bad. We made them twitch. We're like, oh my god, they're fucking idiots.
Well, I mean, it's almost like someone's wrong on the internet, but it's people you know.
You can actually.
Holy shit. Well, what if we were trying to be wrong on purpose so that we can be corrected with good information?
No, you weren't too far off. It was just like there was some things like you just didn't know the answer to, and I was literally like 20 feet from you in the other room. So.
Were you listening live? Like you could have like knocked on the door and be like,
no,
"Yo."
I was busy working.
He was doing network engineer stuff.
Okay, well,
So I was like, I think putting together ShopBot.
Oh,
so we weren't like completely off base, were we?
No,
Or,
like one of the things was like the migration strategy. How the easiest way to basically implement IPv6 is running what's called dual stack. So you have both IPv4 and IPv6 at the same time.
That's where an IPv6 address includes the IPv4 address?
No, it's just completely separate address. So,
okay.
So you have your IPv6 address space, and then you have your IPv4 address space. And then if the site you need to go to has what basically is called a Quad A record, that basically is the IPv6 lookup for address. So if it has that, and you have an IPv6 address, your workstation will try to go out via IPv6, just automatically.
It tries that first, is basically what it is. Okay.
so I don't understand why no NAT is better because there's no natting with IPv6, right?
NAT breaks a lot of things.
Wrong.
Like when there's no
Yes, it does.
NAT. Wait, when there's no NAT, it
We
breaks.
talked
a lot,
about
right?
this earlier, right?
Yeah, well, you mentioned it, but I don't understand why no NAT is better because I know it makes it
it breaks
easier.
VoIP.
So
it breaks VoIP.
It breaks IPsec. It breaks any protocol that isn't written to be able to handle traffic back and forth. So
Yeah.
with NAT, you can only initiate traffic out. But if you're talking to someone else that is doing that, well, then you're kind of in this thing where both people can talk, but neither one can listen.
And yet WebRTC figured this out. Because you can
It's-
punch,
it's
if
not
you use UDP,
impossible.
you can punch holes through, right? Right?
You-
Because you can spoof the NAT, because you tell them both, like each endpoint is
There's
like, hey, I'm
there's
gonna-
ways to set up firewalls where they'll do things dynamically. It doesn't scale terribly well.
Okay. So let's just accept that's true. Okay. We were talking about this in the IRC channel earlier. If I were to switch my home network to IPv6, my main concern is that now all of my devices on my network have static IPv6 addresses, and now I'm broadcasting to the world that, hey, I have 4 computers.
Yeah, that's
They
what I don't
use
understand.
their addresses
You
because-
also have a firewall that you set up to.
But I don't want to
limit
leak
stuff
that
in.
information. And we were talking about this earlier. So there's an RFC about like still maintaining the privacy that NAT allows you without, the problems of NAT, basically. There's an RFC. I don't remember what it was. Did you guys have the link?
No,
It's RFC 20.
I don't know.
I'm just kidding. God, I'm
That's
kidding.
a really low number.
I know. Can somebody fact check this for me?
No, it's here.
I threw a number out of my ass. Okay, so were we?
4864. RFC 4864.
I was really off.
It's
I was really
IPv6
off.
I have
local
not read
WAN.
all the RFCs, but
What?
Oh, like Hugh? You have Hughesby? He's like, oh, I can't believe this.
I read
that
the
one.
ones that come out like on April 1st each year. 'cause,
Okay,
that's
my
what-
question though, Krux, is
yeah.
were we okay with our math? Like when we were talking about how we were calculating how many IPv6 addresses we had or could potentially
right.
have.
I'm
Was that
pretty
correct?
sure that's right.
I think the numbers were correct, but
You're still dumb?
You didn't really have the utilization. So the smallest subnet really on IPv6 is a /64. So you take the 128 bits that you have with IPv6 and you cut it in half, and half of that is basically for the network segment. So like a single network segment has far way above and beyond a internet's worth of IP addresses. It's an insane number of hosts you could possibly have. Things would break if you actually tried to do that, but
So I could have like an IP address for every single one of my fingers. And
But we
my-
talked.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
talked,
yeah,
we
no, I
talked
know.
about that part.
Every cell in
the
your
thing
body.
is IPv6 is designed where there is a lot of loss in it. So it's just such a huge, incredibly huge space that
You loot.
like
it-
like
it's-
packet
it's-
loss.
no,
IP addresses.
like utilization. So you have like a subnet, and it's a /24 on IPv4, which is gives you 250. Well, it's 256 minus 2, so 252 addresses or 254 addresses that you can use. You could have a network that has 200 some addresses. Now with IPv6, it's a much huger space that's issued to the local subnet, and you can't possibly fill that. So there's a lot more dead space in IPv6 of addresses that are just never going to get used. You as an individual can get a /48 right now, so that's 32 more bits that you can assign for just individual networks. The internet is only 32 bits with IPv4, so there's an incredible burn rate, but it makes it a lot easier to manage. So
Right.
And in that sea of addresses, you can get lost with your computers. Apparently, that's what this RFC about privacy is all about.
Is it the point to get lost in?
Yeah, because you don't want to leak exactly how many computers you have. Like, you don't want to broadcast to the rest of the world any information about your internal network.
Right.
Then you have to. And if you assign static addresses to every machine, then now it's easy for somebody to look and say, oh, there's 7 machines there.
Well, I'm
your
wondering if
machine can have multiple addresses too.
That's right.
Well, I'm wondering
that's
if
what this is all about.
if
That
you're
was my
requesting
main
an
concern.
if you're requesting an IPv6 address, like if you're requesting them for each device that you have, are you requesting them in sequence? And can that be?
No, it's usually it's something based off of the MAC address and some random.
There's
some sort of algorithm?
What is it called? The EIUC or something? There's some standard that takes
Yeah,
your MAC address
it's
and
an
it
auto.
splits it.
Yeah,
It's FFFE in the middle.
yeah.
And,
Yeah, it's essentially an auto configuration with IPv6.
Okay, cool. Well,
The thing is,
I don't-
it's such a huge address space. Obviously, it also makes it pretty hard to scan too, because you'll spend forever in a day trying to go through it. Not to say
Okay,
it's
so-
not impossible.
Well,
but
tune in for next week for a tutorial on how to set up your LAN with IPv6.
there you go. Well, okay, so we were cool with our math, but is there any other example of how we were just like completely off base?
it's been a couple weeks. I don't remember, man.
Now we're
Okay, no, fair enough. Fair enough.
This is a lot of beer in 2 weeks, right?
Well, we want to just make sure we stay credible. So this was our segment on fixing
errata.
errata, not erotica, or errata. Now I'm also very glad that Husby's here because Doxy.
Well-
I hope you did research on your beloved phone because I think he's about to rip you a new asshole.
No, because we're not. Because
what?
Well,
like
no,
as if this is a hobby of mine?
No. Like, okay,
Hey, everyone's into something.
a little bit of background. Okay, last week we were talking about phones that were coming out, and Doxy's all about the Nexus 6Ps coming out and everything, and the three of us, like me, BGM, and Husby, BGM jumped on him like,
I wasn't
Fox.
here. I
No, it
wasn't
was
here. I
Fox.
was.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Fox was
it
there.
was BG and Fox. No, go ahead, finish.
No, so now I thought you were going to be researching all week to defend your case.
Well, yeah, but the main antagonist was Fox, and she's not here now, so.
Well, then you can speak for her.
No, but I mean, I think well,
Well, I'm pretty sure Husby's going to bring up the same kind of points that you're going to, or that Fox
Yeah, I
is
mean,
going
I'm
to
not
bring
gonna
up.
really add anything. I mean, the main deal with. Well, why don't you set this up, Docs? This
Well,
is
okay,
yours.
so we mentioned the new Nexus phones coming out, and one of them is a 6P, which is made by Huawei, a Chinese manufacturer who is known to put rootkits.
a Chinese manufacturer,
The
Chinese.
largest, probably the I don't know, but they're
No,
telling me they're
like
the largest.
specifically
No, like the government.
The government
Chinese
Chinese manufacturer,
yeah.
and Huawei has been known to put rootkits on their routers before. So we were discussing how bad of an idea it is to buy a phone from a company known for those sort of practices. And then my rebuttal, at first was, with buying any sort of tech device, you're giving up something. I don't know what you want. It's not freedom. It's not privacy or whatever. But you're giving up something to use any tech device in this world, in this day and age, because nothing is secure. Nothing is.
Can you be more specific about what you might be giving up?
Well, definitely privacy. Definitely some sort of privacy, depending on who you're using and what you're using.
Well,
That's the key. Depending on what you're using and who you.
But it's all
how you're using it.
you're all giving up something to some level, because I know a major one a couple years ago was Carrier IQ. That was AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile. All the major carriers in America had Carrier IQ on their phone, which is
Let's just say that this is mobile phones.
mobile. Yeah,
Let's narrow it to that.
Okay.
Because I can write an encrypted email and use Onion Share, and nobody knows anything about that, and I'm not giving up any who I'm talking to or any of the contents of the
Right,
information.
but everything you use is different. They use different sorts of encryption, yada yada yada. So if we're sticking in the realm of mobile phones.
Okay, mobile phone.
In the realm of mobile phones, for one, my biggest point is that Huawei there's no proof. We know that Huawei is, I won't even say scandalous, but they are, I won't say scandalous or whatever you want to call it.
Less than reputable.
Less than reputable.
They
But
have been caught doing.
for their routers, and even that's not.
Okay,
But
but
even that's not everything. It's a small subset of the routers that they have been using rootkits
If you had a
on.
girlfriend that you caught cheating on you once, would you trust her ever again?
But no,
Hey, Vic.
it's not. No, it's not that. No, it's not
Sold
that.
the
That's
firmware,
a bad analogy. What it would be is, what if you were friends with the family and the sister, you're dating part of the family. Her sister got caught cheating. Would you still keep dating the one you're dating? That's a better analogy. Because the same people.
Well,
that,
no.
Because
no, Doxy, I'm agreeing with you.
But let me finish. The same people that make the Huawei routers don't make Huawei phones. So we'd have no idea if there's any. I'm sure there is, but if there's any carryover between the Huawei router developers and the Huawei phone developers, no idea. Could be two completely different entities.
That's true,
that
but
share
they're
only the
probably
name.
both ARM devices, which means that they probably are using the same common IP cores.
Probably. We
Okay,
don't know.
Now
We don't know.
We don't
I
know.
will admit that. I don't
Probably.
know that.
Doxy, what you brought up, which was really good, it was a really good argument against BGM last week, and this was kind of what made me somewhat
come to
side
my
with
side?
you. Somewhat.
But we're sticking-
Hang on.
okay.
So the thing is, for instance, there was the scandal a couple years ago about Sony putting rootkits on their thumb drives. Yet you still have people who are buying PS3s, PS4s, and they seem to be okay with it.
Sony
Is
TVs.
this right? So is this the same analogy? Is this the same example?
It's the
Just
same
a
exact
different
thing.
case?
It's because a company has been found doing something unscrupulous in one department doesn't mean that every single one of the departments is now a write-off, because we still use those things. Case in point, it's not a rootkit, but like I said last time, Lenovo has been caught multiple times installing malware on their laptops. You have a Lenovo laptop. It's the same exact thing. A couple years ago, AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, all the major mobile phone carriers had carrier IQ, sending data back to whoever.
I would agree with you.
Yes.
I would agree with you. However,
You heard Doxy say, he's like, yes, fuck yes.
I would agree with you if it was a corporation in the elaboration phase where they're breaking out into separate product groups like General Electric does, right? General Electric makes everything from
Everything.
light bulbs to jet engines, right? So
Everything.
there are all these different business groups.
Yeah.
They're not one company.
Right.
Okay. And they exist in a Western liberal democracy, right?
GE?
Yes.
Okay.
So they are bound by the rule of law.
Right.
Okay. So when you're talking about a company that is wholly owned by the People's
Chinese.
Republic of China,
Yeah.
and
Wait,
it
is
exists
Huawei actually owned by the government?
as far as I understand,
Because
that's
in-
exactly. We should look that up.
We'll
We
have to-
should.
we'll
I
have to
need a
look that
fact
up.
checker.
Fact checker.
I need a
We
fact
need a
checker. Well,
fact
because
check.
let me tell you something. Here's how China works. Okay, in China you have these places called special economic zones. For instance, Shanghai, Beijing. Those are two of them. So they're special economic zones where, I mean, of course, the entire country is communist, but these specific cities, Hong Kong is also one of them too, since they're now owned by the Chinese. But these are special economic zones where they can do capitalistic type of businesses. So, like in Beijing, you have Kentucky Fried Chicken, and you have Pizza Hut and McDonald's. You might like that, Doctor. And so you have these businesses here, and of course, these businesses, they might, the government might have a stake in these companies, but they're not owned by Chinese
Government.
Exactly. They're not owned by the
They're not
government.
owned by the government
So my
itself.
question is Huawei a Chinese-owned company?
I
And
don't
when
know.
I say Chinese-owned, I mean Chinese government-owned company.
I don't know, but I will. Go ahead.
It's a private company wholly owned by its employees.
Huzzah!
Wow, Doxy's killing it today.
Everything's coming up doxy. But I will respond to your GE thing.
There is no shortage of people who speculate without evidence that Huawei is owned by the Chinese government or even the Chinese army. So I stand corrected.
All right. Well, but again, it's all speculation. We don't know for 100% sure because we don't.
I mean, that's
we don't.
just what I guess it was just scuttlebutt and rumor that I had heard, and I
Yeah.
believed it.
And see, all you guys
Wow.
believed it. But
I guess I'm wrong.
All right.
It's okay. It's okay to be wrong.
But I mean-
just can't
but-
believe
but I
everyone's
mean,
coming
That's
up.
assuming Wikipedia is correct.
Right.
Or this random website that I'm looking at.
Right. It's and
Ooh, CIA fact book that was recommended by Vic.
now we're gonna get into some deep diving. But no, I didn't- no.
Wait, that's what you said?
No, I said deep diving.
Oh, I thought he said
not,
dick diving.
Not dick diving. Deep diving.
Okay, for those who are live, it's called dick diving, and I think Hughesby can go ahead and explain what that
that's
is.
Hughesby's
No,
thing.
I'm not. I'm not explaining that on the air. No, thank you.
But what I with
This is why we can't be on AM.
with the backdoors in their routers and whatnot, everything I was able to find about backdoors in any Huawei products was, and if not initiated, was oversaw by our NSA. I'll say our NSA, but the NSA, and it was an American thing.
Are you saying that the NSA got a Chinese company to put backdoors into their routers?
On my initial research, what I was able to find, yes,
How is that even possible?
because it's the NSA.
Well, wait,
It's the
weren't we
NSA.
talking a couple of weeks ago about like the side detour that our devices take before we get
Yeah, I am.
before we get our devices? Don't they like take like a little side trip where they
With-
get loaded with
the basebands.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we mentioned this a couple months ago, how all of our basebands are compromised, and that's another thing. In using any mobile device, your baseband is already compromised. So if you want the utmost security, you're going to have to build the phone yourself from the ground up. If you use anything that's developed by any company other than you or somebody that you know personally, you're compromised already. So there's really no security in anything that you buy from any manufacturer, any company or anything.
So
you're-
there's one company that I actually have high hopes for. It's the
Turing?
Fairphone.
Well,
Never heard of it.
not the black phone.
I haven't heard of it.
You should look this
Or
up. The Fairphone, they designed a modular phone from the ground up, and the coolest thing they did was they managed to secure the rights for all of the software that goes on it, so they can actually push updates to the phone.
Okay, and see
is
that's
pretty amazing.
That's what it would have to be. It'd have to be something built from the ground up, not touching any carriers, not touching any. I guess it even. I don't know. It'd have to
Is
be.
it Fairphone like Fair, like Fairphone?
Yeah, like FAIRPHONE.
Okay, cool.
It had to
yeah.
be completely. It had to be completely independent of any
Yeah.
outside interference.
Well, I don't know that that's necessarily true, but their philosophy was let's design a modular phone so that it can be upgraded, so that we don't just throw these out and create e-waste.
But I mean,
That's how it started, and it turns out that ethic made it so that they designed the only phone in the world that can have security updates pushed to it on a regular basis.
aren't all phones? Wait, aren't all phones like that? It's just dependent upon the carriers.
Didn't we
when they
talk
get
about
it.
this?
Well, no, we talked about they all get security updates. It just depends on the carriers
No,
when they actually
don't.
get
The
them.
carriers won't ever ship security updates
In third
ever.
world coun-
Well, I guess maybe in the U.S. and Europe they do, but
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
everywhere
about.
else in the world they don't
I'm
because
yes, but I'm mostly focused on
Yeah,
America
yeah.
because I can't speak for anybody in third world country or anything because I don't know.
Doxy's a true patriot.
he
Yeah.
is absolutely
Yeah, yeah.
a patriot.
But I mean, because
Flag right here.
yeah. Well, I mean, we know that.
Can we cue up like the national anthem in the background while he talks?
What's the Captain America theme?
Or
I
Captain
I don't
America?
know.
thing?
it's
Yeah, we do that.
it's the Pledge of Allegiance, right? I don't know. I would assume so. Right? I would assume so. I don't know.
Pledge of Allegiance.
I don't know. Yeah,
that killed our train of thought there.
I lost.
We
all train of
definitely
thought.
need to get the national anthem in the background when he introduces himself in the.
So, but no, okay, but so you'll agree if we're talking about only mobile phones, there is some level of, I guess you can say privacy that you're going to give up using any manufactured mobile phone that you don't design yourself.
That is absolutely true. Yes.
Because if it's not a rootkit from Huawei, it's Carrier IQ,
Or
siphoning your
it's
data,
A closed source baseband that has backdoors in it.
or it's Samsung making cases that steal your fingerprints every time you touch a phone. It's it could be any one of these things that
Yeah.
that you have no control over, and unless you're designing, building the phone yourself, you're giving up something in the use of it. So, my thing with Huawei is it looks nice and I want it, so I'm gonna get it.
You don't.
I don't
You know,
give a sh-
privacy. Give a damn.
Well, and I talked to Feist about that also. There's nothing on my phone that.
Oh, hold on. There's something that I got to put you on blast for, though, dude.
What?
So last week, Doxy made the argument that he has nothing to hide.
I don't have anything to hide.
What?
No, not,
Sorry, dude. I had to put you on
no,
blast.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't
I had
say,
to put
no,
you
no,
on
no, no.
blast.
I didn't say I don't have anything to hide. I said that if I were to lose my phone or if it were compromised, it wouldn't be detrimental to my life. I didn't say nothing to hide. Nothing that would be detrimental.
I'm
to
going
my
to
life.
review that episode.
Okay, if that's exactly what he said, I'll
That's
give
exactly-
I'll give him a
I'll
plus
remember.
one
I
on that
remember what
one.
I
That's
said.
fair.
Fine.
That's called risk management.
Right, because you're like I said the whole time, you're giving up something in the use of in laptops, phones, whatever you're using. You're giving up something. So it's all risk management. And what you are comfortable giving up with, and what you're comfortable losing in the process of using those devices. So I don't whatever. I'm okay if I were to be compromised with my devices. There's nothing on there that's world secrets or anything that's going to compromise me or hurt me. That's
Okay,
all.
fair.
Oh.
I'm done throwing you under the bus now. I was like, as you were saying that, I was thinking like, do I have anything in my phone? And then I'm like
Like World Trade Secrets or something, like anything that would
I guess
be
I don't.
detrimental to
I don't know.
you.
I guess I don't.
Damn it!
Oh, you're
Damn it.
raising your hand.
No, sorry. This is slight. Like, let's jump. Maybe this is terrible, but let's jump back to Huawei real quick.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Damn it!
CIA fact book. One Chinese government illicitly provided transmission equipment and switches to Iraq from 1999 to 2002 for projects that were not approved under the UN OFF program. Reporting indicates that throughout 2000, Huawei, along with two other Chinese companies, participated in extensive work in and around Baghdad that included the provision and installation of telecommunication switches, more than 100,000 lines, and the installation of fiber optic cable. So the NSA might have a real interest in that.
Yeah, and like I said, what I was able to find was the NSA, I don't know, pushing, whatever you want to call it, them to do stuff with the routers, rootkits, and whatnot. I have no idea. I don't work with these.
That's all the fact books got, right?
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
whatever. That might provide the motive.
For them to siphon my data.
No, for them to participate with Huawei.
Oh, right. Yeah. No, I can totally understand that.
All right. Fair
Sorry.
enough.
Keep going. So what were we talking about?
No. That's so.
Well-
Okay, Doxy closing statements because I think we're done throwing you under the bus. I don't mean to look. I don't mean to throw him under the bus, but when he made some of the statements last week, it just. I guess it lit a fire in our brains. I don't know.
Nothing to hide.
McNutt that is asking me about my RedTube account.
The nothing to hide argument.
You have a RedTube account?
No, I don't have a RedTube account.
That's like saying, what is it? We don't need free speech because you have nothing to say.
No. I didn't say I have nothing to hide. I said nothing. If I was compromised, nothing would be detrimental to my life if it was lost.
Fair enough.
That's a whole other thing.
Risk management.
I mean, I absolutely have things I don't want people to see all the time. That's normal. That's a normal person thing.
And
All right,
you keep those
so-
on your phone.
Absolutely.
So
'Cause
Vinyl-
I need it with me at all times.
Quick draw McGraw over there. Like, whoa, there's my
Just in case you forgot.
I am never gonna look through his phone.
Please,
You know what? That's
please
like
don't.
Never.
That's like
What is it, Doxy? Never swipe left. Is that what it is?
Never swipe at all. Just don't either way. Just
That's
don't do anything.
that's a
Just never
defense
swipe
mechanism.
left.
Just
No, that's a defense mechanism. If you think about it, it's like, hey,
like
man,
Louis C.K.
you
defense
could look
mechanism.
at, well, I'm saying you could look at my phone, but if you look at my phone, you're going to see a couple of things that I may look like a microphone. That's not a microphone. Like, and that joke's kind of lost on, because, okay.
we get it. I get it.
Did I tell you that story?
Yeah, you told me the story.
Okay, BGM was there. Anyway.
Okay, so final thoughts. I'm getting a Huawei. It's already ordered. I'm getting it either way.
Do you have any spare phones that you want to share with the rest of us?
I have OnePlus, which is also Chinese manufactured. So you can take what you can get.
Yeah.
So you
Wait,
just
wait,
use both of them at once.
Where are
and,
those?
like,
I just go between the two, and they'll just transmit data between each other. But like I said, you're giving up something in the use of any technology: laptops, phones, TVs, DVRs, whatever you're using. You're giving up something in it. So it's just what you're comfortable with giving up, more or less. You gotta mitigate the security risk. Damn it, Dave. What?
No, nothing. I'm just-
You have to with anything you have to mitigate the security risk because you're giving up something in all of it. No?
yes, I mean when you're talking about phones, that's true. That's
Wow.
the sad state of things right
Like,
Or anything.
I don't know.
Your laptop or anything, really.
I
now.
think.
I mean, other than my DNA on the keyboard, like from my skin, my fingers. I'm gonna clarify.
do you remember 2 weeks ago
You're
when
not
we
really giving anything up on a laptop, right? Like if you can get like a free one of the, the old X60 Lenovo's and you desolder the chips that people suspect or could do stuff, and you
Yeah.
put core boot on it and all that stuff, right? You're not like if you,
You
can
can-
secure the platform from
Yeah.
the hardware up, you're not really giving anything up.
You can harden it down. Yeah. Yes.
know.
Yeah, definitely.
That's my only point is you're not always giving something up. You
And
don't have to abstain from technology to
Absolutely.
preserve your privacy.
It's almost impossible to abstain from technology
That's
in
true.
this world.
It's yeah.
Extremely difficult unless you want to be.
You don't have to abstain from technology to preserve your privacy, is what I'm saying.
No, you just
If you're extremely careful and you're willing to jump through all the hoops, you can do it.
right. You just have to mitigate those risks by with phones mostly.
Yes.
I'll say mostly with
Yeah.
phones because you use them all the time. You need them everywhere, and you just don't know. It's really. I would imagine it's much harder to harden a phone as opposed to a laptop.
I would say impossible. At this point.
impossible to harden a phone, right?
Yeah. Because you can't make a phone work without a baseband.
I'll-
And there are no like really functioning open source basebands. I mean, there's a couple, but
I'll agree with that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
like on modern phones. Like there's some old phones.
Well, yeah, if you have like a whatever old school
Anyway,
phone.
new topic?
Yes.
Okay. I will say before we move on, Doxy, I think whether Fox and BGM were here this week or not, you might have kicked their ass in the debate because
I don't know,
man.
but I mean, I was prepared. I was mostly ready for Fox.
I did a 180.
I mean, I was mostly prepared for Fox because she was the main antagonist last time. But
I
but
could
whatever.
imagine. Okay, anyway.
But, yeah, all right.
Hi, Fox. We miss you.
Yeah, we
Hurry
miss
back.
both of you guys. All right. So I will say that you might have swayed me. I might have to buy the phone.
You haven't changed my opinion of it.
Well, yeah. Okay, so Krux, you've been kind of quiet this whole time. I mean, like, your stance hasn't changed.
As
then.
a network guy, I hold true to routers and switches and whatnot. And since that has been known compromise, it's just that company's done in my book.
Okay, I mean that's fair.
I will not buy one. That's just for the record. Even though I may agree with you, I still wouldn't buy one.
Yeah, and
You're free to do whatever makes you happy.
I'm going to. I'm going to do what I want. No, but and I'm not trying to convince anybody.
I mean, it's a shame. It's a really nice looking phone.
it
has Huawei on it.
And I'm not trying to convince anybody. I'm just trying to give my point of view as why I would buy one when there are other phones on the market.
I will say that the one thing that's really persuading me to get that phone is because there's no other phone out there that looks as cool as that phone that's coming out. The 6P
supposedly works as well because it's not only looks well, but it has a lot of the internals are very awesome.
Right. I mean, like, I don't know. I'm about ready to jump the Samsung ship, so I don't know.
You should get a 6P.
I'm still undecided.
You should get a Huawei phone.
But you made a good argument today.
I have a spare unused, like, older Huawei phone. I know what I'm giving Krux for Christmas. It's going to be in his stocking. Like, that's a brand new Huawei phone.
So yeah, like I said, I'm not trying to convince anybody.
I have a building full of equipment that can do nasty things to that phone.
And you should record it and publish it. That would be fun.
So
I just wanted mostly Fox and BGM and you to understand why I would buy that phone.
I think it just boils down to you think it looks awesome.
No, I mean yes, mostly. Because
I mean yes.
No, because I mean,
what is it? My mouth made the word.
He did it again. He's a quantum computer. I swear to God.
Because if it's not visually appealing, why would you want it? That's what we go for. It looks first, and then you go for the rest of the stuff later. Because at its basis, all phones are mostly the same, more or less, give or take some things. Mostly they're all the same, so it's all visually. It's what you want aesthetically that matters. But yeah, that's it.
So, all right, I guess it is time to move on to the next segment. We spent some good time on there. So before we move on to the next segment, I want to remind everybody that we are recording from the SYNShop. Go to synshop.org for more information. We are at 1075 American Pacific Drive, Suite C in Henderson, Nevada. This is still the Las Vegas hackerspace. And I want to say thank you, Krux, and to everybody here who helps us out, who contributes. We got fact checkers. Vic is running in and out. What the hell was that?
What are you doing?
We got people who contribute to the show. They fact check. They help us do audio and visual. Thank you, Zenify. So just a big thank you. And this space is awesome. I'm liking it. We don't have bums knocking on the door anymore, so that's kind of cool.
Smell like urine outside.
That's a bonus. I like that.
Yeah, that is a big bonus.
The lack of sewage smell, we can.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely nice.
So what I wanted to talk about today was a little bit about the user interface and how I've been kind of shafted lately in when these applications get updated, they change something and then they change it back. Like, for instance, last week, right after the end of the episode, I was realizing that I don't have a mouse pad anymore. I mean, like, last week, the Windows 10 update, and yes, I did update to Windows 10. I don't know how everybody feels about that.
I'm glaring at it. For those of you who can't see me, I'm glaring at him very angrily.
Yeah, well, just like Doxy, it kind of looked cool, okay?
Maybe that.
Okay, so
We're doomed as a country. I'm just going to say that right now.
These
Like, if it looks great, I don't care what it is.
okay.
Shinier
So, so it took me a while, but with the Windows 10 update, I realized that my my rootkitted Lenovo, it didn't have the mouse anymore.
Kitty?
No, it didn't have the mouse anymore. Like
It's a great
screen.
name for a pet cat. Let's
Kitty?
call you Root. Give me a Root
Kitty.
Fox would have that because she has how many cats? A lot.
Are you calling her a cat lady?
No,
she
one of
has
her
like
cats
3
ran
cats.
away.
Are you calling her a cat lady?
She has like
on the
3
radio?
cats, right? Yeah. She's a cat lady. She's a cat lady.
Good luck
I
when
think
she
it
comes
was-
back,
Oh
Doc.
my God! I
I'm
know.
not in on this one.
Yeah, you're on your
all
own,
alone.
dude.
All right.
You're all
We'll just block that part.
We'll
block that part out.
I'm not censoring.
Okay.
Okay, so anyway, I noticed that when I first initially updated Windows 10, they got rid of the mouse, and because it was a touchscreen, you had to touch everywhere you wanted to interact with.
That's stupid.
Yeah, and I was like, fuck, and it took me like a minute to really move my mouse around to realize that it wasn't there, because you know how the mouse turns into like a little eye when you're editing text, and it's kind of hard to see.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe I'm just blind. So it took me like a minute to realize that I didn't have a mouse, and so I was bitching about it for a whole week. And I think Microsoft might have heard me because in the latest patch Tuesday, I got my mouse back.
But why would they?
And it
why,
said, thanks, Chen, in the release notes.
I think it did.
why?
Well, no. So what got me on this big tirade is like we were looking for news items for this episode, and I was using Pulse, which is owned by LinkedIn, as a news aggregator, and they completely redid their UI, their user interface, and the articles are no longer sectioned off like this is the science. Oh, excuse me. This is the science section. This is computer security. This is business and money and finance. They completely got rid of those categories, and now it's just a steady stream of news that's unorganized. And I mean,
they did something similar with YouTube, where you used to be able to like put your things into categories of like, all right, well, these are the builder videos, and these are like, computer security videos, and now it's like, oh, we're going to make it better by getting rid of this feature and not replace it with anything. So now you just have everything in one big bucket.
okay, now with YouTube though, did they allow you to make those categories, or
Yeah, you could make your own categories and
Okay.
put things
Right.
however you wanted to, best categorize things.
okay? So yeah, same with this particular application. Now I haven't opened this app for a few months, so maybe that's my fault, but. This new update, it's just a steady stream of unorganized, uncategorized news, and so I have to kind of sift through the other stuff that I look at, like lolcats and whatever. I'm just kidding, but
Root
I-
kitties.
root kitties. I really like
do
that.
you
Hey,
use
can somebody check if that
like a
domain's
RSS
taken?
reader? Or?
Well, I use the RSS reader for my podcasts. Like I subscribe to the RSS feeds of podcasts, including our own. But I don't think I use RSS for anything else. Actually, no. You know what, though? This app had an RSS feed. Like, that's how you grabbed articles.
rootkit.es is available.
Buy
As
it.
of
Somebody
right
buy it.
now.
Buy it.
What are we gonna do there?
I don't know.
What do we do
Do
with
stuff.
Nothing. We'll just give it to Fox because
I
she's
didn't
the
say
cat
that.
lady.
I didn't say
Is that what you said?
Nope.
Root kitties? I like that
Nope.
domain.
Wasn't me.
Okay. Side
Wasn't
side
me.
note. Wasn't me. Wow.
Isn't
What's
there
up,
a song
Shaggy?
about that?
Yeah, Shaggy.
There's a song about that.
Are you Jamaican? Anyway. I'm
Okay.
off. But what I'm saying is, what makes the developers think that they can get rid of these features, or that it's a better, like, is it aesthetically pleasing? I don't know. You guys have an opinion on this? Or am I the only one that's just ranting?
I know they're annoying twats at times.
Well, I mean,
I've had apps that I refuse to update because I know that the developer basically has like removed key features that I use on a daily basis, and it's like, I'm just going to stick with this version. It's annoying, but
Well, and I'm wondering, like, I couldn't have been the only one who had this pushback with Microsoft, at least, because I got my mouse back. And I think I have to complain and bitch and moan long enough so that I get maybe my way.
but do you think that was a bug, or I don't think that would be a feature to take away the mouse pad. That doesn't seem.
Well, no. If
I
you
would-
think of what Microsoft's doing, they're not making laptops anymore. They're making
Oh, the Surface.
tablets.
The Surface.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're making Surface, right?
That's
so
true.
that
so
totally
is
makes
your
sense.
is your laptop? Does it have a touch screen?
It's a touchscreen.
Okay, so they probably just their detection of whether you're running on a tablet or a laptop was flawed because they didn't think that, you wouldn't possibly have a device that has both.
Wait, can you have a mouse if you're like on a desktop machine? Does it have a mouse? In
I don't know.
Windows 10?
This is the only version of Windows 10 I have, which, by the way, I only boot up when we're recording.
Wow. And you're running, what is that, Audacity?
Yeah.
That runs perfectly on Linux, just FYI.
Yeah, but I don't know if the drivers for this mixer is on. Actually, I got to check. I think it is for Linux.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if only you would try it.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay,
No.
my turn to be thrown under the
But
bus.
no, I don't think.
But no, so do you guys have an opinion on this? I mean, seriously.
No, I get it. Like, it's really terrible when they just do random shit with the UI, right? That's awful.
But
I know
it's
that
a
it-
way of life. I mean,
Well,
it's-
but I know.
Wow.
Really?
Krux
I mean,
was
this,
like
this
really
is this
philosophical
is what
there.
A/B testing's all about. Like, if you're gonna make a change, try like, hey, here's the existing one, or here's the new one, and get feedback and all that stuff. I know that Mozilla spends a lot of time very carefully weighing the pros and cons of every change
Okay.
to the user interface.
yeah, I've had to like relearn Office like several times because Microsoft's completely moved things around.
Well, they have to justify the new price tag, right?
Right.
Like, why would you buy it again? Well, because all the buttons are in different places.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just checking IRC because I think we've been ignoring that medium for a little bit. Are you on IRC too? Oh, you are.
I am in. I wasn't reading it, but hey.
Oh well, hello everybody. Sorry, I'm watching the stream. Anyway, so I think it's time to go on to our lightning round. Now, here's the thing. Okay, we have time to discuss these articles, but
So it's not a lightning round.
I guess not.
It never is.
See, well,
So
no,
a faux lightning round.
Which is what it is.
I
every
mean, we
single
have time, but I mean, yeah, at least we're not rushing. But it's kind of funny that
Well, before we do that, I know Hughesby mentioned the leaked Trans-Pacific Partnership.
Yeah, I
Oh!
tried to go through that.
Oh, yeah.
It's basically everything we feared, but I don't really have anything to talk about. Anything
I don't know.
specific.
I thought you had something because I don't have anything. I know it was leaked, but I don't have anything for it.
Well,
when was it supposed to be actually released?
Not till after the Canadian elections.
Yeah, so they were trying to keep it secret until after the Canadian elections on October 16th because it's a shit show. And I think this is like a political necessity, right? Canada will sign as long as the people in power don't get voted out for signing it.
Yeah.
So, but it was leaked on WikiLeaks this morning, at least the intellectual property part. If you think DMCA is bad now, wait until like Vietnamese people are sending you DMCA takedowns, or like Australians are sending you DMC takedowns. I mean, this is basically taking the shitty regime we have now and spreading it to 13 other countries on the Pacific Rim: Canada, Mexico, Vietnam, Brunei, Australia.
So then, like, the potential to be taken down by any international entity can happen to the podcast.
Yeah, and more specifically from countries that don't have the same kind of rule of law that we do.
So our scope of threat just kind of got way
Well,
bigger.
Yeah.
Not for us, but for everyone.
Well, I mean,
Well, no, I mean us too.
Us
like
too,
if,
but
if
us
we were
too,
to,
but
if we
mostly-
were to play something like a little piece of music in the background that apparently somebody in Vietnam, just using that example, owned, they could send us a DMCA like request to take down the episode.
yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. And then what would your recourse be? Fly to Vietnam and challenge it in court?
yes. We wouldn't even.
We've changed the name once.
Yeah.
We're not going to do it again though.
Well, I was gonna say, we
I'm
wouldn't
saying-
even-
I mean, that's the real problem is when you get across national borders, you're talking about legal jurisdiction changing. Okay, like at least in the United States, it's fairly clear that if you get a DMCA takedown notice, there is a very well-known path of defense, right? Or at least addressing it legally,
Yeah.
because this is a well-trodden path. But if you're talking about like now, how do you fight somebody in Mexico who's trying to do that to you? Right? Then
Would it
I
be?
don't know.
Would it be the burden be on them to come here and actually? What if you didn't respond?
And
What if-
would it be the U.S. laws that apply?
Yeah,
to-
like
to
what
what
if they
they're
said?
trying to do?
Well, I mean, assuming that our Senate ratifies
big.
the treaty, then we would be bound by the terms of it.
I think we have opinion coming in here, or maybe some clarification because
I don't know.
So you guys just spent a half hour talking negatively about a Chinese fall.
Oh, I know exactly where he's going with this.
So
Son of a
China-
bitch! You know, Huawei, we didn't
Wait, I
mean
wanna hear
it.
that. I want to hear the man.
We didn't mean it.
So China could send you a takedown notice, and then how would you defend against it? But your media would still be down because you can't defend against it.
And your ISP would be the one taking it down, not us, right? Like they would.
It's
they would act-
automatic.
And on the
takedowns.
same note, China has like done things like say stolen Cisco's firmware and ran it on their devices. You look at it and it still says Cisco.
Well,
Well, I mean, thank God China's not in the TPP, right? They're not one of the signatories.
No, but that is a good example. Actually, I completely understand that better, Vic. Thank you. Not that I'm shitting myself right
So
now,
that
but
sucks.
I'm like, God damn it! Like, so this is definitely a big freedom of speech issue. Then I would
Well,
say.
and it's a huge loss of sovereignty for the United States, I think, and especially the citizens of the United States. Like I'm one of those people who believes in we should just try to stay out of these kinds of treaties. Like it's one thing to say, yeah, you can sell your stuff here as long as we can sell your stuff there. Great. But we're not going to adopt your idea of what intellectual property is, because we have our own ideas and we have our own rule of law and all that stuff. I'm very jealously guarding our sovereignty, I guess. It's mainly the reason I'm against these kinds of agreements.
Right.
I don't want to give power to other countries who aren't subjected to the presumably, the ostensibly controlled by the people, right? Like we vote and supposedly we control the government and all that stuff, right? I don't want to give any of that power to another country that has a different system.
Well, I think I agree with you, and I think that's warranted because while we were doing our research for some things that we're trying to do, we noticed that somebody else has a similar name, not not here on this side of the hemisphere, let's say, on the Western Hemisphere. It's in the Eastern Hemisphere. And hopefully we can do a couple of things before they get wind of it and maybe try to take our name again.
Do they have prior art?
What was that?
Do they have prior art? Like, use the name before we did?
I think... I'm not going to say
I
anymore.
guess we're
Talk
changing
to,
it.
talk to your lawyer.
Yeah, I'm not going to
Talk to
say
my
anymore.
lawyer.
I'm not going to say anymore. But basically, so it's kind of interesting that... So in this trade agreement, we're talking about, Canada, U.S.,
Canada,
Mexico.
Vietnam, Brunei, Australia, New Zealand, Japan. I don't know the exact list, but we can look it up.
All right.
Fact check. I mean, but it's like it is the Pacific Rim.
Okay, none of those countries. Okay, cool. Perfect.
And I'm getting totally DDoSed on IRC, by the way, right?
You are? What do you mean?
Like, I get random. Yeah, never mind.
Okay.
Okay.
Does
So
that
my-
side of
my
the table
IRC
have
is
an
blowing
opinion?
up. My IRC is blowing up. Like, when you see my screen flashing, that's because people are sending me all kinds of random.
I was wondering what that was. Okay.
Did you have anything you want to talk about, Krux?
That's a no.
You didn't actually tell me that I was going to be on the podcast today, so
Well, I thought that was implied when we asked you to sit in at the microphone.
yeah, it's 5 minutes before the thing.
By the way, you're on in 5 minutes. Come up with a topic. No.
You were out eating, so we couldn't ask you before.
All right. So let's go ahead and move on to the lightning round. That was a good. Yeah, perfect. All right. So
Okay, hey, wait. I've got before
Oh.
we go. It's Brunei, Chile, New Zealand, Singapore, Australia, Canada, Japan, Malaysia, Mexico, Peru, United States, and Vietnam.
perfect. Still none of those countries. And I'll continue to shut my mouth. All right. Before we get into trouble. All right. So for those who don't know what the lightning round is, base.
Go ahead.
What?
I was gonna say, is it? I was gonna say, is. Go ahead.
Unless you have anything to talk about.
No, I was gonna say, is it? Do we have time to talk about stuff, or is it just gonna be like quick?
No, we have time to actually maybe not make this a lightning round and make this like a minor discussion round.
Make it like every other lightning round.
Exactly, but this time I'm not getting pissed off. I'm not like, fuck, come on, let's go. All right, so for those who don't know what the lightning round is, basically we're taking the headlines from thehackernews.com. We will read the headlines, and then we'll give our quick, usually tweets length,
Never.
I'm hopeful, but usually a tweet's length of opinion on the article or the headline, and then we leave it up to you guys, the listeners and watchers, to do your own research and form your own opinion, because we're not here to tell you how to think. We're just discussing what we think, and maybe open up your mind, or maybe you are always more than welcome to tell us how we're wrong, right, Krux?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so we're gonna go. Are we doing this counterclockwise, clockwise? How are we doing this?
Star pattern.
No, stupid. Counterclockwise, starting with Chin. Let's go.
Starting with
Counterclockwise. So we just
me.
okay.
Okay, starting with Docs.
Well, I mean-
let's go.
That's
Yeah, 'cause-
counterclockwise.
Yeah.
I
No,
can do it in my
I
head
was
really
gonna-
quick.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Yeah.
Too much digital clock. Okay. All right, here we go. So, first one, big surprise. WordPress brute force amplification attack targeting thousands of blogs.
Every week. It's WordPress every week. It doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, there's problems with any CMS system, but WordPress gets hit a lot.
Yeah.
Drupal gets hit a lot, and you have to keep up on the thing.
On the security. I don't hear much about Drupal, but every week I
Well,
hear
is
something.
WordPress being hit because they're the most popular blogging time
I
of
think
CMS?
so. They have a huge
Kind of like the Windows and
footprint.
Apple argument, right? I think.
Well, I think
so
that's
Docs,
different.
you're at like negative 45 characters right now. So let's just wrap it up.
I think.
That wasn't me. Krux is talking.
Well, he's a guest, and we have to be nice to the guest.
Who? Oh.
All right. Well, then.
So my take is centralized systems suck. Host your own.
But okay. What about people who suck at coding, like myself?
Get better.
Get better.
Wow.
I said it first.
Fuck you, man.
That's no, because me and
Perhaps
Freedom Box.
static HTML
Freedom
is
Box
more your
is
style.
supposed
All
to
right,
be this.
fine,
Decentralized,
fine.
host your own. Freedom Box.
yeah, because
yes,
me and
that's
Microsoft because we started building web. We kind of whatever, and I tried to use Drupal, but it was easier to just do my own coding.
better.
Okay, people are gonna hate me. Let's go.
I don't really hate
Yeah, I wrote my
Doxy.
own
This is just a big show.
This is
See?
why I love the man, because he gives zero fucks.
All right, next one. Samsung Loop Pay hacked by Samsung Pay is safe. But Samsung Pay is safe, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it wasn't. Well, yeah, Loop Pay because it wasn't Samsung Pay exactly that was hacked, but it was some like division of them, like some company that was part of it, but not part of Samsung Pay's direct like financial records and things like that were hacked. Something. Yep.
So it's a payment system that did not stand up to scrutiny.
Okay.
I'm getting old. I don't even know these newfangled technologies.
Well, I mean, it's
My
like
first ever-
Samsung.
Auto pay, right?
Bitcoin. like still.
Wait,
No,
this is a Bitcoin
no, no,
thing?
no, no, no.
No, it isn't. I'm
Oh,
just
you're
saying.
suggesting Bitcoin.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
It's
because
an
Samsung
alternative.
pays like Android Pay and Apple Pay. It's
Okay.
it's an easier way to
Why
without.
would Samsung have its own payment
We
device
don't
when you
need
have
another
Android Pay?
payment.
No,
Can
it's
we
it's
just need
because you have
people to
NFC
standardize
payments
on
in your
something?
Samsung devices,
Because-
right? So they have to have their own infrastructure.
And Samsung doesn't want to pay because Samsung could use Android Pay, but they don't
They
want
don't want to pay the licensing.
because that's why they built Tizen, Tizen,
Tizen.
because they don't want to. They in eventuality they don't want to use Android on their phones anymore, so they have Tizen.
Wait, they're switching over to a new OS then?
No,
Not-
it
not-
was their research project. Tizen is a new OS.
That's why
device
the Samsung Gear is not based on Android Watch, Android Wear. It's based on its own Tizen.
Okay,
so
well-
Samsung has their own thing.
I am an Android lover, so this is more reason to jump the Samsung ship.
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to be getting a 6P.
There's also the 5X, which is made by LG, which is slightly
Oh, wait,
more
it's made by
reputable.
LG? I might go with that.
Yeah, that's
It's
what
like-
Samsung, right? Or no, that's
no.
I'm sorry, that's Korean.
Like,
LG is
yeah,
Korean.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's slightly more reputable. I guess it's Korean. It's not.
As long as it's from the South kind.
I would.
Of course
think-
it's from the South kind.
I would think. Yeah.
I don't think. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. All right, next one. Here we go. Hackers backdooring Cisco Web VPN to steal customers' passwords.
Krux?
Use IPsec.
Okay, cool. We got that from the network admin.
Use IPsec. What is it?
You
No,
took
no,
that
no,
from
no.
the network admin.
I was gonna ask Krux if he could expound upon that just a little bit.
Okay, thanks for saving
for our
yourself.
casual listeners.
He shot that look like use
totally stole it.
IPsec. Use IPsec.
It's actually funnier if
Are
you just
gonna
say what he
use
said.
IPsec?
Yeah, what? Use IPsec.
No, yeah.
So, the web VPN, I mean, that relies on SSL, and unfortunately, there's been a slew of problems with SSL as of late. So it's not surprising that they found another problem with OpenSSL, and unfortunately, that's what we have to use, and hopefully, it'll get better. IPsec is a bit more secure, but it relies a bit more to set up.
Gotcha. All right, before we move on to the next article, actually, we do have some chatter in the IRC channel. Irvi is telling me that I should learn how to code better, or get somebody who knows how to code, and he says I need
See,
money.
people are on my side.
No, he wants me to hire him, or hire somebody. Yeah.
Here's somebody who knows how to code.
There we go.
I need money.
All right, next one. Here we go. Microsoft pays $24,000 bounty to hacker for finding accounting hacking technique.
You missed one.
What?
Krux
Oh.
is checking you.
I did miss one. I'm sorry, dude. Okay, first one. Collusion attack. Widely used SHA-1 hash algorithm needs to die immediately. Ooh.
It does.
Yes.
How old is this hashing algorithm?
I don't know,
I don't know.
but
Dirt?
there's known
He did it again.
weaknesses.
He did it again, man. Oh.
Known weaknesses. I can say I can't name a specific company, but I know that there is a movement afoot to deprecate the SHA-1 hash in TLS certificates. So, like, very soon. I don't know exactly the date, but in the next few quarters, probably, both Chromium, Firefox, probably, what is it, Edge from Microsoft now,
Yeah.
IE, whatever. All the browsers are going to start warning you that this is a TLS circuit that has SHA-1s in it.
Okay.
So, like, take that with a grain of salt kind of thing. So I'm pretty sure that the web itself is moving away from SHA-1, at least
Right.
at that level.
Okay, side note. You said SHA-1, and I thought you said Shaolin.
SHA-1.
And
No,
my
SHA-1.
my ears right. No, my ears kind of perked up. I was like, "What?" Anyway, all right. Next one. Here we go. Now the one that I did not skip. Microsoft pays $24,000 bounty to hacker for finding account hacking technique.
No, you just said that one twice.
Well, yeah, but we didn't have an opinion on that one though.
You're my favorite guest.
I know you are too.
I think
Krux, you are.
I think it gives incentive. Not that there should be an incentive to help security bugs, but it's good to give an incentive for people who do.
I believe in bug bounties.
Yeah, that's,
You have to outbid the black market.
You know who doesn't believe in bug bounties? Adobe.
Was that who
We
were
found that
talking
out
about?
like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And that's why the web deprecated the Flash plugin.
yeah. The bug bounties is a great way, or a great thing to have. Something I brought up to Fox a while back was the concept of like full disclosure. So what if you're a hacker or you find some exploit in whatever program and you go to that company and they ignore you? Well, do you expose? Do you tell the world that you found this problem? Do you keep it to yourself? if you found it, someone else could find it, and that could potentially leak, sensitive customers' data. So
Yeah, bug bounties are the foundation of responsible disclosure, right? You have to outbid the black market because people are going to monetize the information they know, and if their choice is, I could, go on to some black market site and sell this exploit for 10 grand, or I could just go and responsibly disclose it to the company and get a bug bounty of equal or greater value. What are you going to do?
Yeah. And Fox did disclose a bug for what? WhatsApp?
WhatsApp, yeah.
That they never responded
And
to,
they,
right?
they never patched it or anything. They didn't.
So
they
it still
basically didn't-
exists?
As far as we know, yes. It hasn't been
They
patched.
never responded to her requests and stuff like that.
So I got to go back to the, or I guess this is the previous article. Irvi has another opinion in, or not opinion, but a question in IRC. MD5 has also known issues, and what should we use?
Oh,
PGP?
you need to use SHA-2 class hashing. So like SHA-256, SHA-512, SHA-384. So
Just not SHA-1.
Yeah, not SHA-1. Yeah, and MD5. So we're talking about hashing algorithms here, Irvi. So PGP is totally something different. But yeah, MD5 has known it's susceptible to collision attacks.
yeah,
SHA-1 is weak.
With any hashing algorithm, you're going to have collisions.
And,
It's just going to be, extremely unlikely when you're talking, say, SHA-512.
Sure.
Well, David Grayson also made a mention here. He said that Microsoft is basically looking to replace SHA-1 by January 1st, or like get rid of it by January 1st. Don't use it.
That'll be interesting to see if they follow through on that because I've heard otherwise that they were going to delay it, but we'll see. I am not a source of truth on that one. But I've heard rumors.
All right, well, let's move on to the next article.
It is going to happen.
We
We just
can
don't
take
know
our
exactly
time here.
when.
We can take our time with this lightning round. Isn't it weird?
It's so nice.
We're not under the gun. All right, next one. Here we go. I'm going to probably butcher this name, but Kemoji. Latest Android malware that can root your smartphone, as if you hadn't done it already. But, this time you're under control, or you're not in control of rooting
Is
your
this
phone.
like infecting yourself to get root kind
Yeah.
of thing, like
I
on
was-
a phone that you can't root?
Yeah, I was gonna say because if
That's a
if
good
you
idea,
can use
actually.
that, then why wouldn't you use that on
Dude,
my,
you could've
like
used
on
it
my
on the old
Z3
Sony, yeah.
that you can't root that have locked bootloaders and whatnot.
They still haven't done root for that?
It's Verizon, right? Verizon.
no, T-Mobile.
It's T-Mobile you're fighting.
T-Mobile's usually pretty good
Because
but for-
Sony has a webpage where you can go and they'll
I
give
know
you
you
the
showed me, and
yeah.
believe me, I went through all of that. I did all of
But
it
your phone may be rooted, but you might have control of that root.
with that. Oh yeah.
Unless you're the one
Yes.
administering
You
the
are my
attacks.
favorite
Yes.
guest.
Unless
That's
you're the
true.
one administering the attack on yourself.
Yeah.
But it could just open you up to a backdoor in China or somewhere or something.
Why has it got to be China?
Because
Oh, 'cause that's what we've been talking about the
Don't
entire
point at me,
episode.
I'm Polish.
No.
All right. So that was the end of the Hacker News lightning round. So we took our time. It was almost like we're on vacation, like we're on a beach island or something. That was kind of cool.
Not quite.
Well, whatever. Anyway, so before we leave, we want to remind everybody that we are at the SYNShop, synshop.org for more information. Also, I haven't said it at all this week, or this episode, but if you want to hang out with us and talk to us, we are live on Monday, or what the fuck?
What?
We are live Fridays at 8 p.m. We have the YouTube live stream going. Thank you, Zen. And also, if you want to connect to us and chat with us and talk to us, we are on irc.freenode.net, #GREYNOISE with a 3 instead of the E. So check that out. Our website is greynoi.se. That's GREYNOI.se. And that about wraps it up, unless you guys have anything else to say.
Rust is awesome.
Oh, we wanted to get into that.
You were talking. We don't have time. For
Okay,
that.
all right.
It's a
all right.
whole-
I planted it right at the end, so we can't argue.
My name is Master Chen.
This is Doxy.
I'm Krux.
And I'm Dave.
Have a good night, everybody.